Hey guys, it's me, Mario. And today I'm going to read the seventh chapter of Trillion, the Three-Headed Lion. There's the third head. Chapter 7, The Lion's Breath. Hope you guys are doing well today. Cheers. Chapter 7, The Lion's Breath. At the last possible moment, Storm managed to roll clear of Trillion. His kicking legs struck the golden boots with a clang and sent them spinning to safety. The huge lion crashed to the ground, tumbling over and over. Storm managed to scramble up and raced towards Tom, whinnying loudly. Well done, boy! Well done, boy! Tom shouted. Oh, well done! The water gushing from his golden armor, Tom stooped to pick up his fallen sword. Storm was close now, still moving at great speed. Using the power of his leg armor, Tom ran alongside his horse, easily keeping pace with him. He snatched at Storm's reins and swung himself up into the saddle, using the strength given to him by the golden breastplate to mount the stallion at a gallop. Mind the dogs barking? To Elena, he shouted. Storm turned and reared, neighing loudly. Moments later, he was galloping towards the protection of the trees, where Elena and Silver were waiting. But Trillion was on his feet again, letting out roar after enraged roar. Tom looked back over his shoulder and saw a deadly light in the lion's fierce green eyes. The evil beast was getting ready for the kill. Tom leaned into the wind as Storm raced frantically for the trees. Come on, boy, he called. Faster, Storm! The lion was suddenly horribly close, and Tom could feel his hot, foul breath in his neck. The beast's jaw snapped and Storm sidestepped, giving them a few desperate moments, while the lion changed direction to keep after them. But it also meant they were heading away from the trees again. Storm made another sudden change of direction. But Trillion was ready for it this time, and his claws slashed through the air, nearly tearing Tom from the saddle. One of the huge heads came terrifyingly close. The open mouth read, the teeth slavering. Tom kicked out, shouting, Keep going, Storm, don't give up. But he misjudged the kick, and Trillion's fangs closed around his ankle. Tom let out a cry of pain as the teeth clamped down on Trillion and and Trillian tried to wrench him from Storm. Tom swung his sword at the beast, but he was using so much of his strength to stay in the saddle that his blow went wide. Before he could gather himself to strike again, Trillian's teeth bit down even harder on Tom's leg and shook him violently. Tom's fingers were gripped from the reins, and he fell with a shout. He struck the ground hard, only his armor saving him from breaking bones. He lost hold of his sword and shield, but a shred of luck was with him as he rolled over and over, his armor clanking and rattling. His leg was free of Trillian's grasp. The shooting pains in his ankle were intense. He tried to get to his feet, but his ankle gave way under him, and he sprawled breathlessly on the ground. He could see Elena and Silver running towards him from the trees. "No!" he cried. "Go back!" He spotted his sword and shield nearby, and desperately began to crawl over to them. His fingers were about to close around the hilt of his sword, and when a massive shape came bounding towards him, two huge paws crashed down onto the sword and shield. Tom looked up. Trillian's 3 heads reared up above him. The 6 green eyes filled with malice. A blast of stinking breath almost choked Tom as the heads lowered, the drooling jaws ready to rip him to pieces. The quest was lost. Hopefully the music isn't too loud, 'cause that would suck. Next Thursday, I believe. I think it's Tuesday today. Next Thursday, I will be reading Chapter 8, The Good Beast. Let me go back to the pictures. Here's Tom in front of Trillian, guarding himself. Here's Storm, Tom, and Trillian. Oh my goodness. I'm already forgetting what happened in this chapter. My goodness. It's just all a blur. My goodness, I need to pay more attention to what I'm reading. But yeah. That was chapter 7. I need to pay more attention to things. The Lion's Breath, chapter 7. Well, I hope you enjoyed my read through Beast Quest. And I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Hope you like, subscribe, and all that good stuff.